Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, April 7th, 2025. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Over the weekend, Invest SVG embarked on its inaugural Diaspora Outreach and Investment Program, Home is Where the Heart Is, with its first meeting in Brentford, the UK. This initiative aims to connect with the Vincentian diaspora and discuss opportunities for business investment and development in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The Home is Where the Heart Is outreach initiative seeks to engage members of the diaspora, informing them about how they can invest in their homeland and contribute to its growth. During his address at the forum in the UK, Allan Alexander, director of the Regional Integration and Diaspora Unit RIDU, highlighted the unbreakable bond that connects Vincentians, whether they are at home or abroad. He emphasized that this bond is rooted in shared heritage, culture, and a deep love for St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Today we stand here to express our profound gratitude and reaffirm the essential role that the diaspora play in the nation building of our beloved country. You are indeed very, very important to us. Our Vincentian diaspora is a pillar of growth and prosperity of our nation. Your contribution extend far beyond significant remittances. And I know a lot of people, when they hear about the diaspora, the first thing they think about is remittances, which we know those financial supports are definitely greatly appreciated and highly essential. But you are also ambassadors of our culture, educators of our youth, investors in our country, and advocates for our national interest. Your expertise, networks, and unwavering patriotism serve as a catalyst for innovation and the development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Currently, as our nation begins the consultative process towards a new national economic and social development plan, we, through the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning, would be coming again soon to the diaspora to hear from you and to add your voices to the development plans of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So you'll hear more about that in the months to come. We all know the most tangible ways in which the diaspora fuels national development through its economic contributions. Many of you have established successful businesses, attained professional excellence, and have built wealth in various important economic sectors. By increased investments, entrepreneurship, and local industries in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you can help to create more jobs and stimulate more economic activity back home.
Encouraging those in the diaspora to explore the many opportunities available in their homeland, Alexander noted that the Home is Where the Heart Is campaign will help facilitate collaborations between local businesses and members of the diaspora. The initiative will also support the mentoring of young professionals and entrepreneurs while championing investment opportunities that promote sustainable development in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
I think sometimes at home we do not realize the immense wealth of knowledge and expertise that resides in the diaspora. And you can just imagine what can be really achieved if we effectively tap into these resources. This is why these face-to-face events are so important and must be held more often. These are the events that help us to understand the diverse Vincentian collective in the diaspora. It is imperative that we all must work together to find new ways in which we can harness and transfer this knowledge to build capacity in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Whether we develop mentorship programs, educational scholarship, or professional partnerships, your involvement can make a lasting impact on St. Vincent and the Grenadines' development trajectory. So today is just a start, but we must continue to work together to develop these strategic alliances. A very important aspect of our Vincentian culture lies with our Garifuna heritage, since the Garifuna was in fact the first diaspora community, albeit through forced exile. But today we see many persons from the diaspora community from the UK and all over the world making their way back to St. Vincent and the Grenadines annually to participate in our National Heroes Month celebrations. Many coming for the first time, and others repeat visitors, but many describe it as their motherland. Though this is of very high significant historic significance, it is also another important aspect of cultural tourism which we need to promote and encourage.
The Rideau director further acknowledged the invaluable role that second-generation Vincentians in the diaspora can play in the country's development. In September 2023, the government took a significant step to involve this group by amending the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Citizenship Act. The amendments allow for the granting of citizenship to second-generation Vincentians, grandchildren born outside of SVG whose grandparents were born in the country. This move is designed to strengthen ties between St. Vincent and the Grenadines and its global diaspora.
These Vincentians, though born and raised abroad, carry with them the legacy of our culture, traditions, and values. They represent the bridge between the past and the future, with potential to contribute fresh ideas, innovative perspectives, and modern skills to our development. It is crucial that we create pathways for their engagement through cultural exchanges, investment opportunities, and leadership initiatives that allow them to forge meaningful connections with their ancestral homes. By strengthening the Vincentian identity and fostering their involvement in national development, we ensure that our diaspora's impact continues to grow across generations. While the amendment to the Citizens Act is a very significant move, we also must ensure that the process for second-generation citizenship is as smooth as it is thorough. As we discuss the importance of diaspora engagement, we want to acknowledge also the critical role of regional integration within the OECS and CARICOM. This integration strengthens economic opportunities, enhances mobility, and fosters a shared culture of political identity that directly benefits both Vincentians home and abroad. Through economic cooperation, Vincentians in the diaspora can invest in a more unified Caribbean market, expanding employment and business opportunities in St. Vincent and across the region. This integration arrangement allows for the free movement of people, goods, and services throughout the region, making it easier for persons in the diaspora to return home, contribute their skills, and explore opportunities across the Caribbean. As a Vincentian living in the diaspora, you are entitled to enjoy the same benefits of any OECS or Caribbean nationals in any of the member states.
Chief Executive Officer of Invest SVG Glen Beach also addressed the forum, emphasizing that investment opportunities in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are not limited to large-scale enterprises. Beach stressed the importance of local investments, which play a critical role in the country's sustainable development.
So very important, hence one of the reasons we're here. For you to understand what is taking place, what you have to offer. Many people, many Vincentians have left St. Vincent and the Grenadines to make a better life for themselves. Nothing wrong with that. A lot of Vincentians also want to return home. Some Vincentians wait until it's a bit too late in terms of retirement before they return home, before they enjoy what they have worked so hard to accomplish. We're here to tell you it's never too early. I have a son that's 15 years old. And I continuously tell him that you're lucky because you're growing up in a time where I think there's not a better time to be a young person in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because the nation is developing at such a rapid pace. But it is for you to take advantage of it. When we were constructing Argyle International Airport, I'm sure many of you that in the diaspora said it's never going to be finished. This plan is ridiculous. It has changed the way we do business in SVG. Technology has changed the way we do business in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Invest SVG is planning similar outreach sessions in the United States and Canada to further strengthen connections with the diaspora and foster investment in the nation's future. The 10% tariffs imposed on St. Vincent and the Grenadines export by the United States will not have significant impacts on the country, but the broader global tariff situation could have knock-on effects. This was stated by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves during a news conference today upon his return to the state from a visit to Romania. The Prime Minister noted that while SVG is a small country, the effects will still be felt, and the government is closely monitoring the situation.
The problem is not so much the 10% tariff on the goods being exported from St. Vincent into the USA, because from the standpoint of the extent of the money, it's a small percentage of our overall gross domestic product. The bigger problem is the question of the impact of the tariffs globally, and given the challenges in being able to change supply chain operations on a quick basis, that all the experts are telling you that, look, everybody's going to be affected if you have a global recession, which is many are predicting certainly economic slowdown, which will bring about questions of the potential loss of jobs, setback for economic growth, and more broadly, the uncertainty and the instability in economic terms that uncertainty brings. There are some other specific areas which I've seen the draft of the article which is appearing under the ULP column, which would have.
Following the announcement of the 10% tariff on export, the government has formed a task force to address the issue. Prime Minister Gonsalves said measures taken by the government to mitigate the impact will be announced later this week. And Prime Minister Gonsalves announced at today's news conference that he was able to secure 11 new scholarships for Vincentians to take up studies at a university in Romania. This follows the signing of 5 agreements with the government of Romania during his visit there last week. PM Gonsalves said the new scholarships will complement the 3 Vincentians who are currently pursuing studies in Romania.
Part of an early engagement through both the government and the university of a very important university in Romania, the Transylvania University of Brasov, B-R-A-S-O-V. Brasov is a city of 300 or so thousand persons, an old city, which is about 2.5 hours driving from Bucharest, the capital city. And I took the opportunity, took the long drive to go and see our students. And we have 3 of them there. Well, 2 there and 1 at another university, but the 3rd one gathered in Brasov at this university. September coming up, we are going to have 11 more scholarships, courtesy the government and the university to which I have just referred.
During his visit to Romania, PM Gonsalves also held bilateral discussions with Romanian's Prime Minister. He further engaged with the leadership of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce of Romania and the Chamber of Commerce of Bucharest, seeking to strengthen ties between the 2 countries and explore opportunities for cooperation. In other local news now, we hear that Dr. Kishore Shalu, the candidate set to contest the North Leeward seat for the opposition New Democratic Party NDP in the upcoming general elections, is promising new prosperity and opportunities for the people in the constituency and across St. Vincent and the Grenadines under an NDP administration. Dr. Shalu made the announcement while addressing the opening of one of his constituency offices on Friday night in Chateaubelair.
For far too long under this Unity Labour Party dispensation, we have watched our challenges increase by the day. In fact, I said some time ago, and Major Leacock agreed with me, that The issues are coming in fast. You can't even have a time to deal with one. Another one coming left, right, and center. They're coming at you. The country is declining at a rapid pace. Our economy is struggling. And Brother Fitz spoke about that earlier. Our communities are feeling as though they are unheard. No one to answer their cries. Apart from when election, on the eve of elections. They come around and see activities happening at this office. This office down the road. For 4 years the office closed, and all of a sudden we see activities down there. Oh, they don't go down there, don't waste all the time. I'm telling all now, do not waste your time, go down there. For 24 years, we have waited on this government to improve agriculture for this country. We have looked to them to boost our tourism product. Sportsmen and women, boys and girls have been crying out for years under this administration. And the cries and the calls have fallen on deaf ears, my people. You telling me we can't do better than that? People are going to ask you, can we do better than that? We must do better than that. The new Democratic Party is going to give our young people opportunities to prosper, and you can bet your last dollar on that. We are going to improve infrastructure, as my brother Kashaka Cupid said. We are going to light facilities.
Urging constituents to embrace change, Dr. Shallow told the gathering that change is the only way to empower them as a people and improve their future.
So change requires vision. It requires willingness to break free of the chain of complacency. The chain of this ULP administration, they have us like we in shackles. We have to free ourselves from that. And to release ourselves from the shackles of the ULP, we have to embrace change. And that requires every last one of us to embrace change and embrace ownership of the change. And so we call on you, as Brother Fitz told you earlier, go out and register young people. Double check to make sure that they ain't put in some polling station, because they're good on that, I understand. Ensure when our office is officially open in a matter of days, come and check. This is one of the reasons why this office is open, is to serve you better than ever before. You can rely on us. We will have a friendly staff here, we'll have information. Come and check and we will assist you, because we can only achieve change together.
Meanwhile, leader of the NDP, Dr. Godwin Friday, emphasized that the NDP government has significant plans for the development of the North, including better connecting North Leeward and North Windward. He also expressed support for the legalization of marijuana in SVG, advocating for its development into an industry that could create wealth and drive economic growth for the people.
This is what the CARICOM Commission had recommended. And so we are working along with that to see to what extent we can get it done now and how we can do with it in the future. There is a lot of potential there. We are going to create an environment in the North where you have better communication through a ferry service from this side of the country to Oya on the other side. But not that alone. We want to have a connection between the North and St. Lucia as well, and create the potential for economic synergies that we have not been able to imagine yet. I talk to some friends of mine and I say, who could have imagined? I couldn't. At the time that I used to go to grammar school, I came up on Friendship Road back and forth. You could never have imagined that you'd have a ferry service running between Beckley and Kingstown, where you have a boat almost every hour, where all of this stuff is going up and down, where new businesses are created, where now you have people going down to Beckley not just to do business, but to go to the beach, to have a nice time on the weekend, where you have the cruise ships coming in and full boatload of people going down. That's all of that is new. You could not have conceived of it. So let us not limit our imagination when we talk about developing the North to thinking what exists now. Think about what is possible. And that is what I want to unleash in this part of the country. And I promise you that we will, because we have the team in which to do so. You have Dr. Shallow as somebody who has proven a person of great ability, somebody of talent, and also the desire to do good in the region and here in his community. Give him the opportunity to do so.
The recent disclosure of support for the legalization of marijuana by the New Democratic Party leader Dr. Gordon Friday has prompted a response from Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. At a news conference today, the Prime Minister emphasized that any policy regarding marijuana must be made in the best interest of the people in accordance with international conventions on narcotics. He further explained that these international frameworks and laws are essential in protecting small countries like St. Vincent and the Grenadines from undue pressure by larger nations.
And this international convention affirms that to possess it is a criminal offense. The convention, however, goes on to address exceptions to this in respect of small quantities, not exception to the question of legalization, but how you treat with small quantities and how you treat with medical cannabis. And what I stressed in Parliament, we cannot choose which piece of international law that we must obey and those which we must disobey. A small country depends on international law to survive in the jungle which is the modern world.
The Prime Minister added that international law does not permit the full legalization of marijuana, but does allow for its decriminalization, which supports the formation of a cannabis industry in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
But now, the leader of the opposition goes to North Leeward, and he thinks that people will be sucked in, some people will be sucked in to this kind of facile, infantile declaration of legalizing marijuana. I want to find out what will happen when a person traffics in marijuana. It's an offense in international law, in all the conventions. It's an offense in Barbados, it's an offense in St. Lucia, it's an offense in Grenada, it's an offense in Trinidad and Tobago, it's an offense with all our neighbors. So what happened? You're going to be an entirely lawless land where you can traffic in as much marijuana as you want. And we know that what accompanies the traffic in marijuana with guns. I'm not talking about money laundering, I'm talking about what happens with people's lives.
He also noted that legalizing marijuana could negatively impact the country's financial standing with international banks. As it now stands in SVG, it is legal for individuals to possess up to 2 grams of marijuana. In more local news now, we hear that there were several fires over the weekend that damaged Vilneck poles in Edinburgh and New Montrose. Electrical poles located at the top of the mountain were damaged by bushfires, affecting power distribution to several areas. As a result, Vilneck was forced to redirect power supply to other parts of the island. Today, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves provided an update on the ongoing fire situation.
The night, April the 5th. A fire in the Edinburgh area damaged 3 Vilneck poles on an 11 kV distribution feeder. The feeder typically supplies customers directly from the Lomans Bay power station. As a result of the damage, a section of the feeder is currently out of service, and all affected customers are being temporarily supplied through the Kingston network. The damaged poles are located in an area that is inaccessible by vehicle and poses logistical challenges. Restoration efforts are underway with the aim of returning the line to service by the end of today, Monday, April the 7th. On the April 6th, the fire in the Upper Montrose area destroyed 5 Vilneck poles on a 33 kV transmission line that links the Cane Hall and Lomans Bay stations via Kingston. Temporary service disruptions occurred due to switching operations required to isolate the damaged section. These poles are also situated in a location that is difficult to access by vehicle. Restoration work is ongoing with a target completion date of Wednesday, April 9th.
Meanwhile, a fire completely destroyed a concrete house in the New Montrose area. Firefighters were unable to save the house. Fire Chief ASP McNeil Ellis tells SVG-TV News that they received a call to extinguish the fire at the house just after 7 p.m., but the blaze was too intense to contain.
We got the call around 7:10 p.m. We responded promptly. That's the fire tender from Kingston. Upon arrival at the scene, there was a bushfire. The fire was met in its fully developed stage. The area was very dry with elephant and lemongrass. At the time of the fire, the wind was very high, blowing in the direction of the said house in question. But the problem also, there were lots of dry grass around that house. Water was used from the fire appliance, but unfortunately because of the wind speed, the fire spread to the said house, destroying the house and its content. Also, a vehicle that was parked in the garage was also destroyed. The fire appliance encounter some challenges in getting close to that particular fire. We are still having a lot of problem in terms of vehicles parking on the road. So the fire tender en route to that fire, there were lots of problem in terms of passing vehicles. But the cause of that fire is still unknown. But over the years, we have seen where persons are, carelessly lighting these bushfire.
In other local news now, we hear that Allan, Cruickshank, the former Member of Parliament for the South Central Windward constituency under the then New Democratic Party administration, was laid to rest on Sunday following a funeral service held at the Hard Court of the New Grounds Primary School. Cruickshank represented the South Central Windward constituency from 1984 to 2001. Throughout his tenure, he served in several key positions within the NDP administration under the leadership of Sir James Mitchell, including as Minister of Health, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Tourism and Information, and Minister of Agriculture. During the funeral service, a series of heartfelt tributes were made. Cruickshank was remembered as a loving family man, a loyal friend, and a dedicated parliamentarian who gave his all to the people he served.
I adored his display of affection for his family, and he cared about what concerned you. He was the man of business for the family, for he exemplified traits of trustworthiness, commitment, and loyalty to family. Nothing was too big or small for Minister Allan to do, for he was congruent with self and stayed true to being the brother, the cousin, the uncle, and all other family roles.
From the 1st of March to now, I still can't catch myself. But I want to say this. I knew Allan would have been a fantastic representative, because Allan had a lot of love in him. And he was respected by the elders, everybody. So I said, boy, that is why I endorsed him. Morris did the same, and Burton did the same, and others. And then we formed what we call now the management team. And your humble servant appointed himself manager. And the rest is also history. They swept the polls, and then Allan started to do his work. But the part that used to get me upset, I'm on the ground. I'm the ground puppy in the family regarding the politics. So I know who is Tom, Dick, Harry, Jane, everybody. Allan would constantly, every end of the term, giving me list, packages to take to people who oppose him. So when he saw the looks on my face, he said, attacking I ain't concerned about the parents and the children. Is who I concerned about. I want them to go to school, learn, get their education, and improve themselves and by extension the country.
As I prepared for these few minutes, I tried to engage people in the constituency up to last night. And they've said to me, Bruce, feel free to say that whilst Allan, our dear friend and brother, was working hard to represent his people, he did it not just with his mouth, but from his pocket. So that when Debalani had to have bread and butter on a morning instead of bread and cheese, Brother Allan Cruickshank was paying somebody light bill. Yes. He was paying somebody's water bill. Yes. In fact, there were occasions when Waidilima people were on doorsteps in the constituency and they rang his phone. Oh, and by the way, he answered. And he would answer and he would make the necessary arrangement in Kingston to ensure that those bills were paid. And Waidilima called them men and say, back off, leave the stove, leave the fridge. He really represented people.